chance to network and brainstorm and see, hear what other groups are doing. Another one, inspiration, on the ground mobilizing that leads to change at sources of power, not isolated actions, but big picture change. So a lot of basically general participatory, informative, and large scale change. Frustrations, observations, more people equals more networking, equals more power, equals more solutions. The size of this paper is too small. This conference needs more people, also more representation from communities of color, youth, and folks from different class backgrounds. I want this to be more inclusive and to flourish. The format of workshops was limiting. I want to see more open space type discussions. I struggled with the content of the workshops being geared toward those with prior experience in the topics. Let's get more people here. Stronger connections with Boston, Connecticut, Vermont, etc. Regional networking. Still need more time to connect. Report backs that move into focused discussion and action items. So a lot of things are about time, about getting more people here, and better representation of different communities. Yeah, suggestions, proposals, stand-up comedy, time management, start on time, 3 exclamation points. Discussion group on creating a more holistic and united movement. We need hammocks for naps, probably from homes. Focus on specific sectors, i.e. health, food, production, etc. Need commitment from presenters to contribute to more than their panels. Okay, so more, a little bit spread out type of things about time. Caring for tiredness levels, coming together on different types of things, but also having specific action items and more specific discussions. Action items, reading list, book club, add resources to wiki, cultivate, so this is why co-ops fail. Cultivate, so if anyone wants to add resources to a wiki, that is cultivate.coop/wiki/why co-ops fail. You can take that down later if you want. Supporting arts and culture in the solidarity economy and movement building in all parts of the process. So, yeah, creative groups to get artist scene connected, plan interventions at the meeting. More time, spend time together, body movements, performers, puppets, and leaders within groups. Website for community assets. So basically putting all of these types of resources together for people who are new or trying to make resources, so you know where you can go and you know who you can talk to. More resource sharing between movements, maybe year-long working groups / campaigns. So trying to create longer type things. So this is about sharing resources, being more creative, thinking about how we do things a little bit more. More or less, yeah. And ways to share and work better. Organize branches 1-2 months before to warm up and get involved for the conference. Sage needs working groups on each campaign. More people in organization teams / working groups. And let's get more formal with the Alliance Sage. Could be the way customers find co-ops. So there we go. That's basically about more organization, more people who need to get involved in, could get involved in different types of more focused campaign work. Any thoughts on that or additions?
Well, ditto on most of it, my perspective, except some things are contradictory too. So more focused, more diverse, more different functions, you know. But yes. More inclusive, yes. I think it works better. Discussions work better when there are fewer of us, but we still need to come together more. I think there needs to be.
Other thoughts?
I just want to invite everyone to be part of the organizing team. We have floating between 5 and 10 people that come together once a month until a month before the conference, and we meet once a week to finish the conference stuff. But we always can use more people so we can get bigger and better at doing it. We all volunteer. We all, unfortunately, around Worcester, because that's where we have it, and we would love to have, you know, wider, better, bigger. And this year we had, you know, open spaces like Google Hangouts and conference calls, but it's still like, you know, an issue of people traveling, but be very, very open to like going to other places, maybe to have one meeting in Boston or one meeting in Western Mass and one meeting in Vermont if people are willing to become part of the group. But we want to do all these things, but we are just 5 to 10 people doing it. So I invite everyone. We can't use the help, and we also would love to have more people to achieve more on this. And I have to say, I think we have more people this year than last year, but we divided in 2 days. Last year was in 1 day, so we had like 70 people yesterday that were very different than the people today. We had some people that came both days, but you know, so we had like, I would say like 120 people maybe, 100.
Okay, I think we have 2 comments more.
This is an organizational question, but I don't know at what point in the planning you come up with the topics for the workshops and the plenary sessions and stuff, but we got, was it like 2 weeks ago, contacted about the financing plenary. If that was known further ahead of time, then we could have been meeting as a group to work on that session ourselves, and some work maybe could be divested from the planning committee and put onto specific groups for specific plenary sessions.
Just to speak directly to that, I ended up working quite closely with Malcolm Chu and Harry Smith and Emily about the anti-foreclosure meets land trust movements. And as a longtime member of SAGE and then that kind of subcommittee, you're absolutely right. Like once that happened, I realized on some level SAGE was living up to its mandate, which is it's supposed to network solidarity economy institutions. And that could happen at a variety of scales, in this case, you know, across the state. So I think that's correct, that it could make organizing either a conference like this or a sustained campaign a lot more feasible. But you know, I'm sort of reminded of my student here who's organizing this 350 carbon divestment campaign. For the longest time, I had one student on campus who was doing all the work, and eventually she said, I need help or I can't keep doing this anymore. And I feel like we're at that moment in SAGE right now, like we need help or we can't hold the center of the state anymore. Like we need it to be a bigger network in order for it to continue. And I don't know, we'll see what happens.
And I think the topics, what happened is we were hoping the topics would come from outside, and then we got 3 months before the conference and nobody had submitted. I mean, we started putting out there the submission of the stuff pretty early, but we didn't get anyone.
So you did put out like a call and you didn't get
We put like 3
call and
calls.
response with no response.
Right, so, and I feel like people are not used to respond back. I think people are used to, you should come. Because I'm interested in the stuff you do, and we were waiting the other way around.
I think SAGE as the organizer is totally welcome to sort of to call us up and say, we want to have a workshop on co-ops. Who else should be part of it? We want you to be part of it. Can you sort of be one of a group of 4 or 5 that takes this on, or you know, something around land trust and foreclosure, whatever. But early on, like 6 or 7 months before the conference, identify key topic areas and then reach out and sort of build that type of networking.
Yeah.
More
And I think we have a lot of
aggressively.
ideas now that we're gonna start from. Last year we didn't do it that way.
I guess I think it feels to me like Worcester Sage will remain sort of focused on local stuff, but also be involved in possibly statewide stuff if that's successful. It's the statewide stuff that we're all going to join together on,
Yeah,
not
that's right.
Right.
focus
Yeah.
on or even
Correct.
through Worcester Sage. It'll now have to move to another level or
Yeah.
of identity, right? So it will no longer be, if it's whatever statewide, becomes a statewide campaign on blah, 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 or however. Right?
Yeah, in which SAGE would be have a delegate.
Exactly.
Okay, So it looks like we're just getting these discussions started. It's a lot of good feedback, and it seems like there's a lot more action points and working groups and specific directions for us to go and things to think of. Just really encourage everybody to sign up on the list that went around. And if you're interested in keeping going on working groups, there's also a meeting next week on Thursday evening at I think 6, maybe 5:30. It's on the back of your program. Thursday, the SAGE meeting at the Worcester Roots headquarters, which is on 5 Pleasant Street in Worcester. You're welcome to just show up. That's generally the second Tuesday of each month. So if you're interested in bringing in any new ideas, joining any of the working groups, that, especially next week, is just basically a forum for new people, new energy, new discussions. What you can see is things that are coming up and need to be worked on. And yeah,
It says on the thing second Thursday. Is that Thursday or Tuesday?
second Thursday. It should be Thursday, yeah.
Okay.
And it's also the 14th and not the 7th. I think they were changed on most, but maybe not all. Yeah.
Yeah, no time travel involved.
So I just had a question about in terms of next steps and those working groups that people signed up for and checked off. Do we have point people for each of those? Because I'm afraid if we don't have point people, then it's gonna fall to SAGE.
Yeah. I think we do.
What people for?
Each of those.
These
For
the working groups.
For mapping, housing, collective, whatever, racism and participatory something.
Number of
And collective provision.
That was, the last one was provision.
Yeah.
Provisioning we may not have. We need to talk about that. I think the other ones we do. But we can make sure that happens.
I mean, I could say that I'm probably gonna do the